Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I thought I would do a voiceover purely and simply because Chris and Luke are watching football in the lounge. That's quite noisy. So I thought it was best, as I say, to do the voiceover. As you can see, I am making a cake. So it's Luke's birthday on the 9th of January. And I asked him what cake he would like, for me to make for his birthday. Did he want a chocolate cake? Did he want, a fresh cream cake? What did he want? And he said, do you know what, Mum? I'd like an old-fashioned Victoria sandwich. So I'm like, okay, absolutely fine. So I thought I would just share with you how I make it, share the recipe with you. So I'm going to reel off all of the ingredients that I'm putting into my KitchenAid. Of course, you can do this by hand if you want to. And the recipe that I do, it's literally just chuck everything in the bowl in one go and then mix it. So here we go. If you want to grab yourself a pen and paper to jot it down, or just refer back to the video. So you will need 225 grams of self-raising flour, 225 grams of margarine or butter, 225 grams of sugar, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, and 4 eggs. I actually added a drop of vanilla essence. You don't have to use that if you don't want to. And that is literally it. So then just mix it up. If you're doing it in your mixer, be careful not to overmix it so that you don't knock the air out of it. And that is my recipe. So you will see, well, here I'm adding the vanilla extract. I just like to add that in, like that little taste. But as I say, you don't have to do that at all. So all the ingredients, as you can see, are in the bowl. And I've got them mixing. I've got it just on a very low mix to start with, just to sort of bring all the ingredients together. And then I will sort of speed it up a little bit, but I'm not going to give it a really vigorous beating. But once everything's all mixed together and it's light and paler and sort of fluffy, then I know that it's beaten to the right consistency. I should have said that I am preheating my oven at this stage. So I have a fan oven. So my oven is preheating to 160 fan. If you don't have a fan oven, it's 180. Unfortunately, I don't know what that is in gas, but if you could just do the comparison, maybe look it up. And this cake I will bake in the middle shelf of my oven. And I will bake this for between 20 and 25 minutes. Now, my oven seems to kind of get hot quite quickly, so I tend to always sort of check around about 5 minutes earlier. So I did actually check after 20 minutes and it was baked, it was ready. So if your oven's a little bit like mine, then sort of just check a little bit before time. Well, as you can see here, I'm scraping all the lovely mixture off of my my paddle. Also scraping down the side of the bowl. And then in a minute, you'll see I'm just going to bring the paddle back down again and just give it a final little mix. I mean, this recipe I have been making for years and years. It's such an easy recipe. You know, there's no faffing about. You don't have to mix the butter and the sugar together and then add, you know, an egg and a bit of flour so it doesn't curdle. Some of the cake mixes that I have done in the past, I have also recorded those as well. But this particular one, as I say, it's absolutely foolproof. You just chuck everything literally into the mixing bowl. So now what you can see is I am getting my sandwich tins ready. So I've got some baking parchment and a Sharpie, and I'm just drawing around the outside of the sandwich tin. And then in a second, I will just be cutting out the circle. I've actually got the baking parchment double so that I get two at the same time. So as you can see, I mean, it doesn't have to be neat, and these scissors really aren't the best either. And of course the paper's slipping all over the place. So I just cut out the circles. So there's two there because it's double thickness. Almost there, look. Who knew it takes so long to just cut out a circle? Right, there we go. So now what you'll see is I'm just cutting a little bit in all the way around the circle, and this just makes it really, really easy to sit it into the sandwich tins, so you're not struggling to, you know, if it goes up the inside and the side wall on the inside, you're not struggling to try and get that straight or you know, fiddling around with it. It just sits straight in, as you will see in a minute. It was quite frustrating because it was slipping everywhere. Okay, so now I've been and got some more flora out of the fridge, and with some kitchen roll, I am greasing the sandwich tin. And I've put it at the bottom as well because obviously I want to put the grease proof in the bottom, but I want it to stick. So here I go, you can see I'm just popping in the first one, and it just goes in so easily. It's worth just spending, you know, a couple of minutes just snipping your way around the grease-proof circle. So one done, let's repeat it again on the other one. It really is a good idea to not miss this stage out, really, because it just is a delight taking the cake out of the sandwich tin. You know, it comes out so easily. So there we go, that's the second one done. And it's now time to divide the mixture up between the two sandwich tins. And it isn't a batter, it actually is a cake mixture. I have done Victoria sandwich recipes before that are very sort of batter-like, but this one isn't. It really is, you know, a traditional Victoria sandwich mix. So I'm just dividing it between the two tins as evenly as I can. So it's one for you And one for you, another one for you, and another one for you. Until I've used all my mixture up. Just getting a knife out of the drawer just to scrape that mixture off of the spatula. And then what you'll see me do in a minute is to use the silicone spatula just to sort of spread the mixture out in the sandwich tins. And then what I like to do is to just right in the middle of the mix, I tend to scrape a little bit of it away. It hasn't got like a well in it or anything like that, but it's not even flat. It's just literally tiny bit indented, because that way when the cake rises, it tends to rise quite evenly, as opposed to sometimes when they rise they kind of are risen up in the middle more so than the rest of the cake. But I find doing it this way, it gives you a little bit more of an even bake. So I repeat this process on the other sandwich tin as well. So here I am doing it on the second one. And of course by now my oven is up to temperature, so you know, whilst I've been making the cake, the oven has heated up to the correct temperature. So no waiting around, you know, I can just pop it straight in to the middle of the oven, as I say, at 160 fan, and I will check it after 20 minutes. And I check it literally just by the look and the feel, so the cake should come away from the sides a little bit, a little gap where it's pulled away a bit, and then when you touch the cake, it is soft but firm, and when you if you press it a little bit, take your finger off and it will come back, it bounce back. As you can see, they're out of the oven, so I left them in their sandwich tins for about 10 minutes before turning them out onto the cooling rack. Once they were cool, I put some raspberry jam in, that's what Luke wanted. And then I just dusted over some icing sugar and left it until the morning before doing the rest. In the morning, I took the cake from the container, just cut some strawberries up and put candles in. They have actually been burnt in these pictures here. And you're just going to see the cake with the candles alight here. The cake was beautifully light. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.